Welcome to Hearts and Stripes, your one-stop shop for all things military marriage. I hope our discussions and interviews equip you with the tools to start or grow a beautiful marriage as we address the benefits and challenges of MILF marriage. I believe life's most precious moments are worth celebrating, so I'll help you design your marriage blueprint in alignment with your core values. Thank you for joining us, and remember to rate, subscribe, and review. Let's do this. Hello. We're jumping into this heart-to-heart today, which is all about celebrations. That's right, one of my favorite topics, celebrations. So in this episode, we're going to talk about my 5 things or 5 reasons where you can celebrate together. And the reason why we're focusing on celebrations today is because too often people allow time to pass and it's kind of the same old. You get into a routine or a slump. And it doesn't seem like life is exciting. You're not working towards a certain goal. It just gets really bland. So celebrations are those moments that we mark where we are highlighting the good things, highlighting accomplishments, a milestone. So celebrations are super important because it fuels us to go towards that next thing. And I think just as human beings, we need to work towards that next thing. You know, once you accomplish a goal or something that you said you were going to do, often people can get in a slump if they don't have something else to look forward after that. So celebrations are nice moments where you get to say, yes, I did that thing. We made it this far. We hit this milestone, and to rejuvenate you to go to what's next. So going right into these 5 items for celebrations. Number 1, for all my military couples out there, promotions. I know it seems pretty obvious that you would celebrate a promotion, but sometimes, maybe not all the times, the military member is not always super excited to celebrate these things. So some promotions, for example, are automatic. You maybe didn't do a training for it, you didn't have a board, or you didn't test for it. It's just you did your time and you're going to promote to this next rank, right? They like to downplay that. Don't do it. Just celebrate each one of those accomplishments because, as I mentioned before, the big picture is there's always something next. So you had to get to that milestone to get to that thing that's next. So it's worth celebrating. Even if you just put your head down, did the work, and you got it automatically, it's still worth the celebration. And then you have those other promotions where you do have to test or go to a board. Those are fantastic. You put in the work. You went for that goal. Let's celebrate that together. Maybe you do something like a dinner. I know some people do promotion parties. It depends on, how much you're trying to spend for those things. But even little intimate acknowledgments of these accomplishments are very much so appreciated. And it's like fueling and putting something into your marriage that is worthwhile. It's like you go to the gas tank and you're filling up your love tank with these little celebrations and acknowledgments of the accomplishments that you've done. So also celebrate transitions. Maybe you're cross training. It may be a lateral. So I know we're talking about promotions, but a lateral is even a good opportunity to celebrate. Or the closing of a chapter, promoting to the dark side, as I like to say, retirement. So maybe you're getting out, you're switching from your uniform into your civvies. That's cool. Celebrate that. There's a lot of time that went into a beautiful career. And it's so awesome when I see people celebrating retirement because they've given a lot to the force. They've given a lot to their service. They've given a lot to the people around them, the community. And it's just a beautiful time to acknowledge that and pause and say, we honor you for all that you've put forward. So celebrate promotions. That's why it's my number one. Super huge. Don't let them bypass it, whether it's seems small, it's big to someone and it's big for their career. So absolutely getting behind things that build them career-wise is amazing. Number 2, birthdays. I love celebrating birthdays. And my husband, not so much. I mean, it just depends on how everyone is raised, right? If you were raised where birthdays were a big deal, then you're into it. But if you weren't, maybe, it's just different for each person. So the reason why I think celebrating birthdays is huge is just because it's another year of life that you are able to see together, and you're just telling the other person that you're grateful. You're grateful to have them in your life. And I think that's worth celebrating, whether it's a cake, whether you go out to eat your favorite meal, you try something different, you go on a trip, you skydive, you do something, just mark the occasion. It's another year that you have the opportunity to see. And maybe the year wasn't great, maybe it was a tough year. That's okay. Use this as an opportunity to recharge that battery and look at the things that you are grateful for in this additional year of life. You got a little older, you got a little wiser, you earning that time, putting that skin in the game, it is a big milestone because, you're sharing that together. And birthdays, I absolutely feel like are worth celebrating. So that was my number 2. Number 3, anniversaries. Yes, my married couples, we are talking about anniversaries. And I know this also, depending on how you're raised, people celebrate it in different ways. I would like to just foot stomp anniversaries and say it is not one particular spouse's responsibility to remember and to acknowledge and to celebrate an anniversary. It is both. The two of you made a commitment to one another. It's on both of you to celebrate. Buy each other gifts if you like gift giving. I know that's my love language. It may not be others. Spend quality time, maybe. Do the things that would be meaningful for you to celebrate your anniversary. It may be looking at your wedding video or some pictures, or having maybe some friends that were in the wedding get together again, have like a reunion. I know my husband and I talked about that a little bit, have a reunion with everybody who was a part of the wedding. Do different things to celebrate anniversaries. And anniversaries doesn't just have to be your marriage anniversary. Maybe it's a major event. Maybe it's when the anniversary on the day when your service member raised their right hand and committed to serving our country. Maybe you're celebrating that anniversary. Maybe it's something silly, something that is unique to just you, the couple. Or maybe it's the anniversary of that time that they worked and trained and they ran that marathon and they crossed that finish line. And that was a huge deal to them because of some circumstance. Anniversaries are just marking milestones and accomplishments and just huge moments. So anniversaries, like I said, doesn't just have to be your wedding anniversary, but look for other little things that you can maybe celebrate that marks a year or years that have gone by since this milestone, this major accomplishment. Number 4, number 4, celebrate just because. Just because is a catch-all for anybody who is trying to weasel their way out of any of these, right? Just because is an awesome time to celebrate. I love the way Sandy in one of our past episodes talked about just finding any moment. Like she said, throw date night out the window. Any moment that you're together, that you can find some time to connect, find a touch point, check in, take advantage of that, because it's not guaranteed that they'll make date night due to a change in schedule or a change in something going on. Just because gives you that flexibility to fit in times to celebrate. So just because, number 4, you can get really creative with that one, and I hope you do. Number 5, federal holidays. Now, I'm rounding these off with this number 5 for federal holidays because, as unpredictable as the military may be, for the most part, depending on what your career field is and what you're doing, or if you're deployed or home, stateside, and all that, for the most part, we will be off for federal holidays. Why are we not maximizing on that, guys? Like, plan accordingly. Maybe you wait to celebrate some of the top 3 during a federal holiday because you'll have the time off. That's cool. Plan a family trip, plan a couples trip during a federal holiday. I mean, we get the time. It's an awesome opportunity, to take that time back and invest it in your marriage. Maybe you plan a little weekend getaway. It doesn't have to be anything big. It can be a staycation. It can be a movie night. It can be a down day where you're like, we are just not going to do anything. We're going to hang out at home because we haven't had that time together. Plan for those federal holidays. I know that is absolutely something that we need to do a little better on, because we always act surprised when it's like, oh yeah, we have a couple days off. So what are we going to do? Try to be more intentional with those times that are a little more concrete, especially with your service being somewhat unpredictable when it comes to schedule. So that's it. Those are my 5 opportunities to celebrate. 1, promotion time. 2, birthdays. 3, anniversaries. 4, just because. And number 5, during those federal holidays. I hope you guys have the opportunity to utilize one of those, and we'll jump right in as you earn your stripes. Okay, we just talked about those 5 reasons to celebrate. So as we're going to earn our stripes, I want you to think this through. Which of these 5 may be coming up for you? Is there a promotion coming up? Birthday, anniversary? Just because, catch all. Just because is always coming up. Or a federal holiday. I want you to take the time to jot down a little plan that you might want to do during one of the 5 that happen to be coming up, right? Discuss with one another as a couple. Let's earn your stripes. You got this. Let's do it. This podcast is sponsored by B. Carroll Events for wedding and event planning and design. Thank you for tuning in. Remember to rate, subscribe, and review. This is Hearts and Stripes. We are the few and the proud that aim high and are forged by love. Born ready. We are Mill Marriage Strong.